Hello and welcome to another screencast of uSchool by Usoft Solutions. In this screencast, we're still under settings and we are looking at administrative settings. We are now looking at the security classes. Now, security class is basically the roles, the user roles that are used in the system. So we can have a role for class teacher as a role, and we can edit any security class that we want. Maybe you want to do class teachers instead of class teacher, just by right clicking and selecting. We can also delete a security class if we want to, and also add as many as we have. So this is the security classes, and the name of the security class has no impact in the system. Every security has to be explicit and must be direct. We can also now look at the student types. Now, the student types here refers to the various types of students that we have in our school. This is purely arbitrary and not meant to be any finality in itself. What we see here, we can add as many as we want for the various types, and this is mainly for billing purposes. That is, we group the different types or kinds of students we have in the school together so we can prepare a bill for students of that type. So you are open to have as many different types of students as you may want. So for instance, we have non-scholarship students, scholarship, maybe we have day students, and we have maybe boarders, or any other types of student that you may have, you can add them here and they will all be available in the system. Like I said, this is purely for billing purposes and ensuring that students are in a particular type of targeted billing. You continue with under administration. We also have sections. Now, sections here refers to the various divisions of the school. Basically, in Ghana, we have the preschool, the kindergarten, lower primary, upper primary, JHS, SHS. Now, for the purposes of billing and for the purposes of grouping of students in targeted bill segmentation, you could have different types of sections or different sections of your school. This could double same as departments or divisions or whatever it may be, but this is basically the division of the school into various targeted groups for purposes of billing and academics, but more so on the purpose of billing. So feel free and designate this school into any number of divisions or sections or departments that you may have. You may do so as applicable. Then we also have the management of users. Now, every user has a username. By our convention, we use the first letter of the first name and the last letter and the full surname. So in this case, I want to create an account for Mr. Fosu, and his first name is Felix and his surname is Fosu. Now his position is going to be a support personnel, and he's going to have the security class of administrator. So here he inherits automatically the security privileges that are given to the administrator. So when I save this, I see Mr. Fosu added in the system. Now, by default, your username is the same as your password. And when you log in, then you can change it. Now, you can also, from here, when you right click, you can also have the option to edit the user. So I want to edit Mr. Fosu's, and I want to make the P capital. And maybe I want to assign him to a different group. I want to make him an auditor now. And update. and he automatically now inherits the auditor permissions. I can also edit, let me edit and bring him back to administrator. I can also deactivate his account if he's no more in the school, and it applies as such. So he will have an inactive status. I can, so for, we will need this account at another level. So let me activate this account to demonstrate the login for the new account. So Mr. Fosu is an administrator and his position is as for support. Okay. Now, we can also reset a user's password in case the user has forgotten his password. You may reset. So reset the password by right-clicking the user and selecting reset password. So when I set reset password, the system gives you this message that resetting the password will revert the selected user's password to the default, which is his username. Do you want to continue? If you say yes, then the system goes ahead and reset the user's password. So this is where we manage the various users in the system. You can also deactivate any user's account and they will not be able to use the account to log in. It's also at this place that we can change the user's access to any new group that we would want he or her to be in. We can go ahead and administration and also come to privileges. Now, this is where we define the various accesses that we would want to grant any security class. Now, let's remember users are assigned to a security class and they inherit the permissions from that security class. So let's create a security class, for instance. Okay, we just created a security class for class teachers. Now let's come and define what class teachers can do in the system. By default, when you select class teachers, on the list on the left-hand side here, we have available privileges. These are the current models and forms we have in the system as at the time of this recording or as at this version 3 of uSchool. Now we have 69 available models or privileges or forms. And you have, as at now, we have none assigned to the class teacher. But when you take an auditor has these privileges, 57 out of the 69. Secretary has only 37. Administrator has 68. That is remaining one. So I'm sure I can do almost anything. Then headmistress has 31. So these are the various privileges that we have. So for instance, if you want to also revoke privilege from a user, for instance, for this headmistress security class, we don't want headmaster to add relations. So we select and we say revoke. And tell us one privilege has been removed from the headmistress security class. And so now headmistress has only 30 permissions. So this is the how we manage privileges. So we want to assign privileges to class teacher. Then we defined, okay, class teacher can promote or demote students. Class teacher can, you select anything you think class teacher should be able to do. Class teacher should be able to edit student information. Class teacher should have access to view class reports. Class teacher should have access to view staff report if we so wish. If these are the permissions we want to assign class teacher, we just select them as we want and just assign the privileges. And we see, so on the left hand side here, when you have the class teacher, these are the assigned permissions. If you feel class teacher should not have access to any, for instance, general settings, you don't need a class teacher to have access to the general settings. He doesn't need fees payment report. He doesn't need to view staff reports. You can select them and revoke these privileges. So there is no accidental access to anybody. Every access is strict and explicitly defined. We will continue later with the various settings administratively. So thank you for viewing and have a great day.